Hello again. I am getting ready for a workshop of my as yet untitled Asian American Senior Sex Scandal Murder Mystery Musical that will be conducted at TheaterWorks next week, and it's thanks to a NAMPT Writers Residency grant that we received, and I'm pretty excited, and so that's been on my mind this whole week. I've been observing what stage this particular project is in, and just have a few thoughts I thought I would share about this kind of early phase in a musical's life, or in a play's life for that matter. And I think this is coming to me because it feels like I've been working a lot on existing works, or shows that are pretty much done, or there's a full draft, or there's been several full drafts. Like there was the Four Immigrants reading a few weeks ago now, and Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. It's interesting to find myself back in this place where I have no idea where the story is heading. So I thought I would share some of the joys and some of the hardships of the early phases of writing something. One of the joys of being in this early stage is that anything is possible. This is really a time for brainstorming ideas, trying things out, and especially that's true of this project because it's an original story and not an adaptation, so there's no pre-existing text that I have to appeal to. So this really is an exercise in kind of letting my brain run a little wild, make some connections, try some things out. And there's no looming deadline of a reading or a performance of any kind, and so there really is kind of this free space to try things out, and there will be actors next week, but we're not having any kind of public presentation, so it's going to be a lot of just play and rewrites and talking to the actors about the characters and figuring out who these people are and helping me answer some things about the plot and structure. On the flip side, a hardship is that anything is possible. And what I mean by that is because it's an original story and it can go in so many directions right now, it's really hard for me to tell if a thread of an idea is going to work or is working, and I start to write with one thread in mind, and then I hit a block, and I don't know if I should push through the block or if I should accept that it's a block. And I think it changes depending on what that particular thread is, and it's hard to know when to follow it through or when to let it go. And it's so early that it feels silly to say let it go, but I'm trying to figure that out right now, and that can be the aggravating part. Sometimes having the complete openness of anything is possible actually feels more overwhelming to me than exciting, and actually makes me feel sluggish or makes me want to procrastinate even more. But back to the joys, I am just having fun. There's an element here because it's a low risk situation that I don't have to worry about slotting things into a particular format, that this isn't going to be judged by anybody as a final product. So I get to play, and if I'm gonna fail, it's gonna be in a really big but maybe a fun way that I can just laugh at it. So I'm not really stressed out. There's maybe a little bit of anxiety kind of that creeps up every so often, but for the most part, I'm trying to just lean into the fun. And I mean, this is a murder mystery. It's meant to be delightful, so trying to find that delight in this writing process as well. And once again, on the flip side, a hardship is, at least for this particular project or the kinds of projects I like to approach, because I like dealing with interconnected relationships, there's so much of a chicken and egg scenario going on here, where there may be a good 7 to 8 named characters that I'm working with, and I really need to figure out how everybody feels about everybody else. So there's some, busy work to be done in that. I haven't gotten to this yet, but I do think I will need to create a little bit of character charting and relationship charting and seeing what different people's opinions are and feelings are about each other. Add on to that the fact that this is a murder mystery, so at what point is what information going to be revealed about certain people? And do I even know what is secret yet? Because I haven't fully formed these characters. So I guess the chicken and egg-ness is another hardship that I'm facing. But a joy is that I get to do this at all, that this is my work, and I have the chance to explore this, that this zany idea is given a chance, and we shall see what it shall yield. And then I guess a hardship, which is maybe not a hardship, but just a stress, a little bit of a stress, is the concern that the people who are investing in me, TheatreWorks and NAMT, might be disappointed. They're offering me time and money and space to do this. I know, and they don't want to put this pressure on me, but I put this pressure on myself of like wanting to make it worth their while. And for the actors too, and the music director and the folks who are going to be there, to make them feel like this was somehow a rewarding, meaningful experience, which is interesting because I am told the whole thing is really for me, and yet I still can't not think about how the me of it is going to affect the people involved. Anyway, I mean, that might just be more in my brain kind of stuff. But to kind of help with some of that stress or anxiety that does come up, I have been able to have a week of just theater. On Wednesday, I saw the Donna Summer musical because a friend of mine is music directing the national tour. And yesterday and tonight, I am watching Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And I may give my thoughts on it in a future video, but the short of it is pretty spectacular. And then tomorrow, I'm actually finally going to be able to watch the show that I had a little bit of a hand in, Construction Site, on Christmas night. So I am getting these opportunities to get my brain out of my own creative space to just enjoy watching a show as well. And that's been nice. So like I said, next week I will be at the TheatreWorks offices in a space there working on this show, and hopefully I'll be able to do some vlogging while I'm there and show you a little bit of my setup there, and I'll report back next week.